Good morning. How are you doing? Welcome to a brand new week. I took some much needed downtime over the weekend. I felt like I needed to regroup, and that wasn't just a case of, getting under my duvet, which of course sometimes we all want to do. Oh, I remember those weekends where you just used to hang out in bed all day, alone or with somebody else perhaps. And, oh, yes. Are you there with me? Well, maybe not in the bed, but you know what I'm saying. We made an exceptional, and I'm going to put it out there, it was exceptional sticky toffee pudding. We are in the zone. We are all in terms of MasterChef that's on the BBC at the moment. And it was on this time last year during lockdown, and we were a bit behind there. And so there's something weirdly comforting of sitting down as a family of watching that again. And Oscar's really into it. And they were making a sticky toffee pudding, quite a few of them, because they had to do this dessert challenge. And we made one. And it was a really lovely process of being able to do that. And also it was really nice because when my granny Olive died, that wasn't nice, clearly. About 10 years ago, that was really tough and awful because, I was so close to her. When she died, I bought this K-Mix, this kind of big standalone. You might have seen it on my Instagram. It's stripy, it's got kind of reds and oranges, and it's a kind of standing mix. And I absolutely love it. And it was feeling so lovely over the weekend, especially around Mother's Day and things like that, to have something that I bought when she sadly passed away and to be then using it with my own kids. I just love that sort of generational pass on. So last week felt really heavy digesting the news. There was so much to take on, and it's left me with so many feelings and thoughts and moves that I want to make. And the overriding thing that I am kind of left with is there's so much work to be done. And that's not always what we want to hear, is there? Because I love that sense that sometimes change is possible, that you can, all the books say, just do one thing or just make a decision and it will change the rest of your life. And I think that's really nuanced. Like, there are some things that can have that ripple effect. But I tell you what, if we can all work together, I'm taking full responsibility in this, work together en masse, that's how change is going to happen. But I was left with this sense of taking full responsibility of what my part is in this and being really mindful about how I'm using my voice, how I am using and elevating the voices of others, and how I am playing full out in this puzzle. And I look back and I think there've been so many times where I've had the privilege, because that's what it is, the privilege to procrastinate and to amuse myself, not even amuse myself, but like take up headspace with the smallest decisions. Like, I don't know which piece of technology to use, or I don't know which colour to go for. And it comes down for me, and this is where I'm watching my own behaviour, I'm about to swear, so if you've got little ears, this is your warning. But that phrase in Bridget Jones where she says, I can't remember who says it, but come the fuck on, Bridget. Come the fuck on, Bridget. And this has been one of those phrases that I've come back to, because what I notice is when I spend time in that procrastination or dealing with the small questions in life, I'm not actually doing the things that I need to do. I'm not actually making moves. I'm not actually making progress. And I'm playing small, and I'm not paying attention to the things that I actually need to do. And this is really key. This has been so key for me in terms of noticing, am I just staying in a safe place here? Or do I need to make some moves? And you know what? I do need to make some moves. So one of the techniques, I guess, I wanted to share with you, or a story that would maybe help you make some moves as well. Because likewise, when it feels like there is so much change to be made, it can feel overwhelming. So we feel like we don't do anything. And I don't want that to be the case. I want you to take this information away and go, right, okay, what am I going to do? So I want to share something that I learned about 8 years ago. And this is the approach of Sir Dave Brailsford, or David, he used to be called. Maybe he's the artist formerly known as David. He's now Dave. And this was shared with me by Kelly Bryan, who is a friend of mine, and we used to work together. And as soon as she said it and as soon as she passed it on, I was like, oh my goodness, I love this. So Dave Brailsford was part of the cycling team at the 2012 Olympics, and he talks about marginal gains. So I've just Googled it, and here's what it says. The doctrine of marginal gains is all about small incremental improvements in any process, adding up to a significant improvement when they are all added together. So one of the techniques and how he used this was with that team in terms of the small things that would be easy to do and easy not to do. And it was so fascinating just kind of reading more about this, of if you look at all those tiny decisions that you make in your life that are easy to do and easy not to do, but really start to notice the things that make a difference. So he broke down all those processes for his team, you know, whether it was, well, I would really have a much better sleep if I had my own pillow that really suited my head-neck ratio. Again, really easy to do, really easy not to do, but it can have that 1% knock-on effect to the bigger picture. And I've noticed that in my own life in terms of things that I've done over the last few years, for example. So let me think. So I've got a Lumi light next to my bed. So I love the fact that the light kind of fades a little bit as I go to sleep. I bought a new bed last week for us, which just felt so good. Again, that's going to be another incremental moment. I make sure, and if you've seen this on my Instagram, you will know, I make sure I have a really exceptional breakfast every single morning. What it does and that incremental effect is huge. I don't book back-to-back client meetings. And I think this always used to be the case, especially when my eldest started nursery back in 2017, it was that pressure going, right, he's at nursery, now I've got to cram every single thing in there. No, I actually spend less at my desk than I ever have done, and I've made more money in my business. I've really noticed that I've got to prioritize that exercise, that fresh air, that creative time, because I'm not just a machine who gets points for sitting at their desk 9 to 5. Sometimes you need creative strategies. You need to think about things from a different perspective. So I want you to think about what would be those marginal gains for you in terms of how they can add up to the person you want to be in this world and do the things that you need to do. And sometimes that is practically, I'm going to send that email today. It's easy to do and it's easy not to do, but I am ahead of the game. It's really interesting chatting with our son at the moment because he's just learnt to tell the time. And, you know, there's nothing like Nikki. No, he doesn't call me Nikki. Mummy, you've got 36 minutes until we have to leave. I'm like, oh, gosh, okay, thank you. It gets a bit annoying after a while. But, you know, I'm really pleased that he can tell the time. But I was talking and explaining the sequencing of the day and sort of saying to him that he never needs to worry about us, you know, not being late for something or forgetting about something, because, you know, there might be times where this was when he was off school, when we would go to the supermarket in the morning, him and then I might have a client session at 10 o'clock. And he would sometimes have that, like, not that it would come from me, but like, but mummy, you've got your session at 10 o'clock. Are we going to be back in time? And I was explaining that the way that I sequence my day, or the way that we do it as a family, that we make sure we have wiggle room, that we have time, and how important that is. So I would love you to think about, if you fast forward to the impact and, really follow those emotions that came up from last week, like, what are you going to do? Where are the moments where you're holding back? What are the parts of your business that you've just been sitting on for a while? And, I know that we've been homeschooling or that, there's been other priorities, other stuff going on. But just give these things a bit of attention today and this week and allow them to drop in. Because it's never the case of like, oh, I've been thinking about doing this thing for 6 months and now it's going to take me 6 months to do that. No, we know that ripple effect, that sometimes you can think about something. You hear it from authors all the time. Like, I was thinking about my idea for about 6 months and then I wrote it in a month. So think about and hold that space for these thoughts to drop in. And then practically think about, what are those marginal gains that you could take, that you could pay attention to, that are really going to impact you and move you forward. I have a brand new course coming very shortly, all about goal setting and visioning and going to the next level and manifesting and all sorts of things. So I can't wait to share that with you when it goes live. It's not quite ready yet, but if you do want to join the waiting list, just email me, hello@NikkiRaby. Also, in return, I will send you a cheeky little discount code. So if you want to find out more and be one of the first to experience this brand new course, then do get in touch. And as always, please rate, review, subscribe and share, and have a lovely day, whatever you're doing. Lots of love. Bye.